Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
We got a one fell swoop going on right here.
Oh, the famous one fell swoop phrase.
Well, the good thing is we both agree on its definition.
Do we?
What?
What's the definition of one fell swoop?
How about you tell me what one fell swoop means?
Why would there be a different definition? I guess.
That's Nate Bargatze's wife.
Okay. Doing it all at once.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
He has a funny bit where he and his wife got in a fight over the phrase one fell swoop because she said something like, well, we got to visit the parents today, so we'll go visit your parents. We'll do this in one fell swoop. We'll visit my parents. We'll come home, take a break, and then go visit your parents.
That's
He's like,
not one fell swoop.
Yeah, I know. They got to fight. Yeah.
Oh, shit. It's a marriage fight right there.
Yeah, he said all marriage fights are dumb.
They usually are, yes. Yep.
What is today about?
Today is about a topic that I hear a lot of questions around in
Really?
office hours. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, hilariously, it usually starts with like, Jeannie, you do a lot of things. And yet it doesn't seem like you burn out. Doesn't seem like you, that you like hit that wall or threshold. Yeah.
Would you like my initial thoughts?
I would love to hear this.
I think burnout looks differently. Like when we think burnout, we think overexhausted, can't even function, too much to do, and you just crash and you can't function or do anymore. I think that's one way burnout can present. I think another way it can present is dropping of balls, missing details.
Someone's throwing some shade right
forgetting.
now.
I'm just seeing what I witness. I think and I'm not guilty of this. I do it all the time. Oh, please. We're just talking about my neurospiciness and like pointing it out to me. So like we can dissect this in a whole other episode.
We can.
But I mean, forgetting things, I think, like when you have too many pots in the fire, you forget about the pot that's over here.
Is it burnout or is it perimenopause? Yeah.
I want to sleep inside, so I'm not going to answer.
Could you imagine if I was like, go sleep on the porch? So crazy.
Well, this is the time of year to be sassy.
That wouldn't work, though, because my sleep would be more disrupted. I feel like you could sleep anywhere, whereas I would be upstairs being sad that you're on the porch.
Why'd you kick me out of the bed in the first place?
Whatever you were about to just say. Yeah, I think that what happens is I know the signs that are leading up to a burnout. And then I know and have tools that I can tap into to avoid fully burning out.
Here's a question for you. Do you notice it in behaviors? Like I mentioned before, like you forget a meeting you had, barely remembered, pulled over the side of the road, had the meeting. Stuff like that. Or do you notice it in your body first? Do you notice yourself having feelings or sensations before those things happen? Because I go right to feeling. Like when I'm approaching some level of burnout, I can feel it all inside me before it will reflect, I think, in
your thoughts,
my actions,
or your actions, your unconscious actions.
Yes.
Yeah. I wonder if this is an Enneagram thing because we're body types. And so what I sense first is exhaustion. Like I sense that there's this underlying feeling that it doesn't matter how much sleep I get, that is not going to be enough sleep.
Sure.
Or, so I notice my body feels exhausted and kind of slow and sluggish. And then if I ignore that, then the forgetting things, like it kind of goes into, I think, the cognitive part of my brain where like it's got to pull resources from somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
So my brain just stops being its most awesome self.
Yeah. I'd also, hearing you think about this, it could be a human design thing as well. So I remember seeing something about a human design. And if you're this type, frustration, burnout, overwork, can present like this. And I was like, oh,
Right. There's
that's-
usually a word like a
yeah,
your
yeah.
disintegration word or something.
Right.
Mine is bitterness. Like if
Oh,
I start
yeah.
feeling bitter.
Mine might be resentful.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I don't think it gets to, like, full on resentful. Like, I actually resent. It's more of just, like, there's just another thing.
Right.
And I get resentful at the thing, not necessarily at the person or a person.
That's good because it would be me.
It would. I know. I mean, like, it's so it's really easy to go there.
Yeah.
You know, this is when I finally realized and understood in Star Wars, like, what the light side and the dark side is.
Yeah.
Like, the dark side, when they're like fear, anger, it's like, yeah, that's easy. Because, like, I could easily be mad at you for, like, having to do a thing that you wanted to do or started doing, and now I'm stuck doing it, and I'm tired and frustrated.
Are you
Like,
talking about painting the mudroom today?
No, I wasn't thinking about a single thing. That's not good. I was just in general.
Just in general.
Like, how easy it is to go to those emotions, and, like, how hard it is to go to the, quote, light side, where, like, you're meeting it with compassion and understanding and patience.
Yep. Grace. And
Yeah. So
understanding.
when I feel myself getting that way, I try to just take a breath and remember, you know, it's probably like whatever I'm doing, A, it won't last forever. And B, you know, it's on my plate because at some point I didn't say no. And if it, you know what I mean? Like, you were like, hey, let's do this thing. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, if it's really a thing that I thought about and thought that this may be an issue, I could have been like, well, here's my issue and no. But I didn't. I was just, you know.
Right.
So those thoughts happen and I understand them. But that's like, those aren't the first thoughts and those aren't the initial thoughts. It takes time and patience and energy and conscious effort to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but so burnout, that's what that looks like for me initially. I rarely will articulate burnout through words.
Right. Yeah. I don't think it ever gets really to the point of burning out. Like, so let's back up and talk about like what burnout is. Like, technically we're talking about emotional, physical, and mental, just pure exhaustion where you've hit a wall and you can't do the next thing. So within that context, I don't experience burnout. What I do experience are the signs leading up to a potential burnout. And so it's like, if you're not aware that those things are showing up, if you're just kind of like going about your day, like plugging away, powering through, whatever the verbiage is, then you're likely to reach a state of burnout, of like total, you know, full stop. You don't even have a choice. There was a time in my life where burnout happened, and like to the extent of like going to the hospital. It was so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't really take care of yourself. And shouldn't say that. When you experience burnout is when you take not as good care of yourself.
Right. If I'm ignoring the signs, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're not tuned into your rhythms, your body, your emotions, all those things, like burnout will come out of nowhere and it just kind of hits you and it feels debilitating. Whereas if you're looking or aware of the signs, then you can make choices so that you avoid the burnout. You know, I think that like, first and foremost, yoga instructors, yoga teachers, people in the wellness world are expected to just be these little like paragons of peace and gentleness. And like, you know, one of the things that I never ever do that contributes, I think, to a lot of yoga teacher burnout is denying the feeling or the experience that I'm having. So if I'm pissed, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
You know, if I am sad, I'm going to be sad. If I'm overwhelmed, I'm going to be in that feeling, knowing that it's going to move. Just like you said, like this is going to pass in a few minutes, or at least by the end of the day, it's probably going to pass. And I don't need to avoid these feelings and stuff them down and then let them kind of like run amok. And I think that a lot of yoga teachers try to do that because they're like, oh, everyone expects me to
Right,
honestly.
as you're talking, I have a question: is how often do people comment on that? Like, oh, maybe surprised at something you say because it it disagrees with something they've thought about you. Like they think
Oh
about you a
God.
certain way and
Yeah.
only
I
a
mean,
certain way,
that's just
and then you'll say something
consistent.
and like they're like, "Oh, I'm surprised Jeannie's saying this." I'm like, "I'm not."
Right.
You know, like this is she's not a cardboard cutout. She's a
Right.
a little bit more depth.
You see all the facets of me.
Right. Well, I
Uh-huh.
mean, I just feel like it's one. I think it's a testament to how you show up professionally, where like
Sure.
things are going on. So you're not going to dump that on your coworkers. Well,
Or
with
students.
the exception of
Yeah.
myself,
Right.
or your students. Right. More importantly, your students, because
Mhm.
like that's not professional. That's not their job.
Right.
Your job is to show up and be the example, regardless.
Yeah.
So they think that like because you're an adult, they're like, oh, you have it all figured out, or you are
Mhm.
always such a beam of light and love.
Well, you know what I learned about this
Mm.
was actually teaching high school.
Yeah.
Um what I heard from a student, I still remember her little face sitting across from me at a table being like, "Well, you don't get stressed out. Like you don't get stressed out and
Yeah.
frustrated. You just bop through life like everything is just going to all work out all the time." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa." I do get stressed out and I do get overwhelmed and I do hit that like emotional wall of feeling like I don't know if I can do this. Like there is that first thought of like I don't know if I can do this, and then it's like, "Oh wait, duh." You know, like
Right.
not only can I've done harder things before.
Right.
But that's not what your mind does. And so the student was basically like, "So you experience like anxiety?" And I was like, "Yeah." And basically walked her through what it feels like for me. And the last time in that moment that I could remember where I felt like super anxious about doing something.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Why don't teachers tell us this? Why do teachers walk around acting like they've got it all figured out? And then we just feel like we're these alien people that don't know how to function. It would be so much better if they would be real with us." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And it applied immediately to parenting.
Yeah.
It applied immediately to parenting. Like I had to, because in exactly what you just said, you don't want to spray your experience onto somebody else and to give them the impression that they are responsible for holding space for you when they're your student, they're your child, they're your whatever. But pretending like you didn't have the experience at all isn't using a teachable moment.
No.
So I was then able to, use that in parenting and be like, so for example, the first day of my job, I did not sleep the night before I started that job. I was up all night, stressed out, and just like sharing these things and then being like, and I went into breathing practices and calmed my body down and at least was like, if I'm not going to sleep, I'm going to lay here and rest because inevitably tomorrow is going to come and I got to go to work for the first time. And rather than getting amped about it, I just kind of was soothing myself and validating what I was feeling and using that as an example when other people in my life are like, "Well, you don't demonstrate this." I'm like, I'm not spraying it onto you. I'm feeling it, and this is what it looked like, and this is what I did.
I have felt it in the past.
Yeah.
I reflect on the time we spent teaching, and I think definitely if you expressed you were overworked, frustrated, tired, there was this underlying idea that it was an implication that you were then working hard.
Oh, totally.
And if I was walking around like I didn't have a care in the world, like I was very laid back, like I was in control, it came across as like, you goofy asshole. It's
Isn't
just
that
like, are you
funny?
even doing your job? Like,
Right.
if you're not stressed, I'm like, well, maybe I am, but like, I'm not gonna. I can't.
It's not helpful
I
to
can't.
bring it here.
I can't function in my day
Yeah.
in fight or flight. Like, it's not, especially when you work with children. Like, you can't. Like, they're gonna feed off that energy. So you got to kind of get your shit under
You
control.
gotta get it. That's funny that you bring that up because I like when I look back on my experiences in public school, and this is not about the students in any way, it's always about the other teachers. Like, you know, the jokes about yoga Barbie, the jokes about like, you know, I'm not taking anything seriously enough. That one mentor teacher that I had that was like, are you a help or a hindrance? Like straight up, just like rip me a new one in the middle of a class. Yeah, in that field for sure. With the adults, you get almost like bonus points if you're like grumpy. Although I want to back up and say, is this universally true, or are there pockets of toxic spaces? You know, I'm still going to hold out some belief and hope that there are schools out there, there are public high schools out there where that is not the cultural norm. I have not worked in it, but I'm going to say.
Right. I mean, I've only actually taught in 3 different high schools. Yeah, and there was the one that we were at, that I was at for 10 years. Definitely like I don't know why we couldn't approach it as like, you know, this is not, it's both very important what we're doing and not that important. It's both at the same time very important and not important. It's very important, but we're focusing on the wrong kind of things. And that was where my mindset was the whole time, because it was like perspective. And that's part of another thing about burnout, is that part of it could be perspective. We're like, how much pressure are you putting on yourself to do a thing?
Exactly.
And how much pressure should exist to do this thing? Like, usually,
right,
this isn't that deep. This is not the end of the world. Like, as far as like in the context of your opinion or point of view on how you are performing and how much effort you're putting into this thing, like, just fucking relax, man. Like, you're going to do a good job if you care, and you clearly do, but like, also, man, chill.
Well, and I think what's true universally about the field of teaching, and then particularly in the capacity of yoga teachers, is the pathway to burnout is paved.
Ooh,
it is paved.
You're teeing up this metaphor
in
really good.
Overgiving and no boundaries. Like,
yeah,
those are the two things. Like, that perspective of I have to keep giving and giving and giving and showing up and showing up and showing up and showing up, and not having boundaries around time, effort, energy, right? And there is a cultural belief, right, that, I mean, I think people in my family still think this. Like, oh, you teach yoga. That sounds real hard.
Yeah.
You know, like, what a stressful job you must have, just stretching all day. Like just not actually knowing what people do in their positions.
Sure.
Right. So like, there's that level of like, I perceive I have to create value, not that what I am doing is inherently valuable, and people need to match that experience that this has value. Like, I don't need to burn myself out in order to have some kind of societal value either. But I would say that for yoga teachers too, like, the number one sign of heading towards burnout is when you start to feel like, I think it starts with kind of a lack of inspiration. Like, you're just like, sign number one would be like, I'm just going to wing it. I'm just going to show up and wing it, you know? Like,
now, I'm going to look at this through the only lens that I've taught through, which is teaching in high school. And I think there's going to be considerable overlap.
Totally.
So, sorry to interrupt, but continue. Winging it. That's a sign of burnout? Or impending burnout?
It's the sign of impending burnout, because you've disconnected from your passion around it and your inspiration around it.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of phoning it in. Right. Like, so if you're not like, and this doesn't mean like 24/7, 365 days a year, like, we're going to have ebbs and flow in our energy. But if there is a pattern of like, oh, fuck, I have to teach, tomorrow, and I haven't even thought about it, or like, I'll just teach whatever I taught last time. And not coming from a place of like, oh, I nailed it last class, I'm gonna do that class again. Like
Right.
that's a different energy than I don't know, I'm just gonna show up and teach whatever comes to me.
I think there's a line between that's not a bad way to approach it on a rare occasion. I think like I'm just gonna
Right.
wing it.
Right.
I think if you're good enough, you're prepared enough, and you've worked hard enough, you can get away with that.
Yep.
10% of the time.
But it's the energy behind the winging it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to plan.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm thinking back to my history teaching days where it's like I hated planning. I hated prepping so much. And then there were some days where like I'll just do this, it'll be fine.
But
And
you didn't hate planning when you were super inspired about something.
no, that's the thing. Like once you found a creative outlet or a creative avenue to do it,
Yeah.
then that gave me juice, right?
Right.
That was just then they're like, cool. I mean, I'll dive in and figure out how to do this new creative thing that I'm really interested in and want to do. And I think that's a wall that a lot of teachers hit where the first couple of years or so, you're just trying to get your feet wet and keep your head above water. And then once you get a handle on it, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, this lesson. I've done it whatever times. I know I don't need to prepare for it. I can do it. And then enough times it's like, I'm not getting anything out of this. We could do something different. We could do something cooler. Like what new idea or something. Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. And then it can be followed up by this sense of like dread around teaching. Like I remember when I was teaching, it had to have been like 14 to 16 classes a week. And that was too many classes. For the official record, that's too many classes to be teaching. And I noticed that like I could recover on my off days, and the first half of the week I'd be good to go. And then I would hit that like 8 to 10 class mark.
Yeah.
And dread teaching for the rest of the week. Like totally dread it.
Yeah.
And, you know, like that just was a clear indicator of like, okay, I mean, I tend to have this mantra of I can do anything for 3 months. I say this a lot.
Sure.
And planning things in little 3-month segments, like yoga studios often have like seasonal things too. So I was like, okay, I could do anything for 3 months. And when it is time to come up with new scheduling, I am not teaching this many classes in the next round of scheduling.
Right.
So, you know, being able to see that impending burnout of like, I'm going to hit a total wall if I try to keep up with this, and realizing too. So, I mean, the podcast is titled How to Avoid Burnout.
We've covered what burnout is.
I think we've covered what burnout is. What I have to say is like, there is an energetic giving that goes on when you teach. It doesn't matter what you teach. And I think for people who don't teach, this is a very hard concept for people to, they're like, no, you're just like kind of talking about a thing you're interested in. Like, how hard can that be? It is giving. It is being in a giving position. And so the antidote to highway to burnout is receiving. And that isn't something that a lot of teachers, particularly yoga teachers, but teachers across disciplines, it isn't something they take time for. It's like really thinking about like, I've been giving energy all day. What is pouring into me? Like, am I under receiving and then trying to pour from an empty cup?
Yeah. And it's not done in a vacuum. Any venue that you're teaching is not done in a vacuum. And by that, I mean, someone is receiving, I'll say, quote unquote, product, right? Like if you're teaching high school, it's the students and then also the administrators, also the parents.
Yeah.
If you're teaching a yoga class, it's obviously the people paying for and showing up to your class. So like there are people who are going to, whether you think or want, evaluate and judge essentially what you are delivering. And that shows up like that doesn't go unnoticed by anyone that steps into a leadership position in a classroom.
Yeah.
Like just for anyone that's ever had a teacher in any field, discipline, for anything, there are explicit and implicit expectations that that person is very aware of, and that's a big weight to carry. So there's that. Shit, what were you talking about? Because I was thinking about something you said. Oh, you know what this makes me think of? It's a 2-word phrase that I learned to hate. And it's one of those things. I was actually thinking about it today. This phrase is like, it made me think of when mindfulness started to be a word in educational circles, in like professional development. And I would get so mad because it is such a good idea, good thing, but it turned into like a punchline because you're having people discuss or teach this idea who are unqualified, and you're trying to teach it to people who don't have buy-in and see the value, right? Like I'm thinking like mindfulness and like in schools, like, and then like before, like I was both at the inception of mindfulness in schools, and also was around long enough to see it be like, mindfulness. I'm like, well, you know, you don't care about it. You don't see the value. No one's teaching it right. So no wonder it doesn't stick. And it's like, I get mad because it's such a like good idea, and executed properly is so good. But then people are like grumpy about it because like, and it's be like, just, I get so mad. Do you want to say what the phrase is that I'm thinking of already?
Self-care.
Oh God. It's one of those things where it was just abused. It just was not.
Well, and I mean, let's be honest, around, you know, teaching culture, again, across disciplines, it's all about giving. So then there becomes this like generic Band-Aid of self-care, as opposed to like actual systemic changes within the structure of teaching and compensation and the time that it takes to do these things, right? That would give spaciousness so that self-care just naturally is able to freaking happen. So instead of be like, oh, did you work 80 hours this week? Lesson planning, grading papers, you know, doing the whole thing. Or did you teach 14 yoga classes, 5 private sessions, right? Because that's the hustle culture of teaching. Well, you need you really need to prioritize self-care. Like, what does that mean in the structure of a really full week?
Right.
Like, it's just, and this is where, like, as yoga teachers, it's really important that you know what practices work for you, and you know, like, what your meditation reset button is. And that those become not like the thing that you do at the end of the week when you're on the verge of burnout, but the thing that you do steadily and regularly.
Well, it's like if you are not ready, and we're using teaching as the activity in this example, if you're not ready to teach at the end of your self-care routine, it's not self-care, it's self-soothing.
Right.
Like it's Friday, you're going to the bar for happy hour, and then you don't come home, you don't walk out of that place until 10:30. That's not self-care, because you would not the next day go teach.
Be raring to go.
No, you wouldn't.
No.
So like, what is it? And that's why I laugh, because when I taught at the massage school, self-care was
oh God.
And rightly so.
Yep.
But what made me laugh about the memory that sticks out was a student who wasn't in classes on Monday, but was on Tuesday, right? Like he took Monday off, and he was like, yeah, I went to this concert on Saturday, you know, stayed out all night, then, you know, I slept in late on Sunday, then had to drive back, so I took Monday off. You know, self-care. Like, that's not self-care. Like, if it was actually self-care, you would have been ready to go for class on Monday.
Right.
And also, I'm not really trying to throw shade, because
I mean,
I've gone to
it might be work-life balance, but it's not self-care.
No, yeah, that's why I'm like, that's you are 1,000% missing the point. Yeah, it's not an excuse to take off because you partied all weekend. That's not what self-care is. It's making sure you're ready to go when it's time to go.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
proper self-care.
I think that self-care in the context of teaching yoga too is even more important, because it's like teaching is going to come from the path that you walk. Always. So of course you're going to get burnt out from teaching if you aren't caring for yourself in your day-to-day life. And then there's like a lack of integrity thing, right? Like, so if you can't just like, you know, something that feels really calming and grounding for me is just sitting outside in the sun. Like,
it's so funny to me
because you hate it.
Well, I mean, I love being out in the sun.
But you want to be doing something.
I can't be in the sun and be sitting still.
So interesting.
It is just the most agitating environment.
So pitta.
It's so just like, I'm just like baking.
I just feel like a lizard.
But if you were like, I'm anything. Want to mow the lawn? Do you want to dig this hole?
Do you want to play
play golf?
Badminton?
Play badminton? Yeah, I will do anything in almost any temperature.
It's amazing.
But if you were just like, just sit in this chair, oh my God. Can't do it.
Yeah. And it's like that scheduling of downtime, like finding what maybe your downtime is going for a walk and listening to a podcast. Maybe your downtime is
listening to this podcast.
Maybe your downtime is like going for a drive and listening your favorite music and singing. Like that stuff can't be back burner when you're showing up to hold space for people in practice like this. Like it really has to be front loaded in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes me think of that book, The Artist's Way by Julie Cameron. And I love that book. I've tried twice. It's like a 12-week program, so to speak, where like each week it's the premise of the book is to unblock if you are a quote unquote blocked creative, like you have trouble being creative. So it's like, here are questions to answer, questions to think about, activities to do that can help reignite that creative flame. And one of the things is the artist date, where it's just you take yourself on an artist date to do whatever you find fun and creative. Like it doesn't have to be, it could just be browsing the magazines at Barnes & Noble or whatever. Right. It's like something simple, but it's the idea that like you are consciously making time to do something that gives you excitement and energy. And it's the same kind of thing where it's like, how are you filling the cup?
Right.
Like, and it can be anything. Like, what is it that's filling your cup and not just blowing off steam, right? It's not let's go have 6 or 7 beers. Then, you know, that's not filling your cup really. But yeah, so, I mean, whatever, it's the receiving, right? So like, how are you receiving instead of giving?
I mean, it's one of the interesting things for me is realizing that one of the ways that I fill my cup, even though it does add to my to-do list in some ways, depending on the structure of things, is to be a student. Wow. It's to be a student. So going to a training, being in a program, like getting to just kind of show up and be in the student seat and receive and like process and like listen and absorb, but not have to necessarily be like on, you know, like, oh my God, it's so like that feels to me like I am breathing in inspiration for showing up for other people.
That's a cool, I mean, maybe a mental body receiving self-care.
Well, it feels like to me that's like an artist. It's an equivalent of an artist state for me. Like it's mental body.
Sure.
Yeah, because whenever I see that book out, The Artist's Way, when you're moving through that, whatever that program is, I'm like, I'm gonna write my own Artist's Way book.
Well, you can't call it that.
It's all about movement practices, you know, like.
Oh, yeah. Like that book is mainly about mental body creative things. So like a more physically grounded. This is 2 podcasts in a row.
I know.
We're like,
yeah.
So it's 2 ideas of books I've just handed to you.
I'm, you know, my copious free time. I will. When I gotta land in the place where my self-care is writing books.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I think one of my this might be both physical and mental, but like my meditation twice a day, that has just been like because I don't know what it is lately. Like last couple of days, I felt really tired. Like if I had good sleep, I just feel really tired. I don't know.
Blaming it on the government smoke.
Government, yeah, I think.
This is totally tangential, but
and it's also apparently
hilarious.
There's wildfires going on in northern Canada, which is causing the air quality to be less than awesome
in New York right
State
now.
It's,
and other. Like,
sure, yeah, like a lot of upstate New York, even down to Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania,
the air quality is not awesome, so that's what I'm blaming for, like just being chronically kind of tired the last couple of days.
But a recent conspiracy theory that we just heard, which is now a soundbite in our house, is that the government is filling the air with smoke.
Yeah,
but just in New York.
Just in New York.
Just in New York.
Well, then I was like, government smoke is a great band.
Government smoke. So now it's like. We're tired, government smoke. You're hungry,
smoke.
Government smoke. You're overwhelmed, government smoke. Are you feeling burnout? Government smoke.
If we start another trivia team, it's going to be called Government Smoke. But feeling more physically tired. It could also be it's a little bit warmer. I don't maybe know if I'm drinking enough water. Mm-hmm. My meditation practice has been a blessing because it's just I did it twice today already. I mean, you only do it twice a day.
Yeah.
And both times I've done it, and once I've finished, have felt so refreshed. Mm-hmm. Like I've actually done it and felt like, okay, I can go about doing things now. I don't have to like muster as much or rally. Right.
Yeah.
And then the opposite is true. Sometimes if I'm feeling any sort of burnout and feeling more stagnant, movement is the key. Like I think, and that's where, anything like mowing the lawn, walking the dogs, something totally different. Like, just being in a different setting, walking in a different space has a different energy that allows my body to like reset almost in a way. Yeah.
Gotta have the practice.
Yeah.
Something. It's got to be something. It doesn't have to necessarily be an hour-long yoga practice every single day. It doesn't have to be like this super strict thing. It's like what is most important is that you set aside the time. Yeah,
it should either be like, a mental practice or exercise, a physical practice, or a spiritual. I think if it checks one of those three boxes, it's a great way to fill your cup.
It's like full, grounded, inspired. If you're full, grounded, and inspired, it's unlikely you're going to land in a place of burnout.
Yeah.
If one of those things, there's just trinities all over the place this week too.
I know.
I love threes.
Yep. 3
dogs, 3 kids.
Oh, I thought you like 3 dogs. I was like, there's 2 of us. There's not. We need a third. Oh, you meant our actual dogs.
Our actual dogs.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't paying attention.
So learn to say no. Manage your schedule.
Learn to say no. That's interesting. I'm going to hold you to that because that's another.
You're gonna maybe regret that.
It's another
I feel
side effect of your burnout where
I feel like you're gonna say I meant for you to say no to other people.
Just start saying no. It could be me to begin with.
It's going to be my 45th birthday, the year of no.
Believe it when I see it.
Your 45th birthday was the year of yes.
Yes.
Look at us just being sacred mirrors for each other.
Well, I think I needed more yeses and you needed more nos.
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure that you have a practice that isn't when you are teaching or when you are prepping for teaching. So making that separate time.
And I can't stress enough, I think preventative measures go a long way, right? Like an ounce of prevention is better than a pound
proactive,
of cure, right?
not reactive.
Like if you already have a pretty well established, or at least ideas for, a physical practice that you do that can help you relieve stress, and mental and spiritual. Like if you already have these things lined up, you don't need to be in a place where like burnout is 5 feet away, and then you're like, oh my God, what do I do? Mm-hmm. Oh my God, it's here. What do I do? Right? Like,
or just ignore it and end up sick.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Nice.
All right, friends, don't get burnout out there.
No, don't do it.
Don't succumb to the yoga teacher hustle.
Have your Trinity practice ready to go. You like that, don't you?
Yes.
That was good.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Wi-Fi Pod. This is Matt.
This is Jeannie.
Thanks, guys.